It's time for this week's RSPW Rewind. One of the biggest moments and a turning point during the Monday Night War between WWE and WCW came on January 4th, 1999. I think January 4th is just one of those dates, if you were a fan of that period, that you still remember today. It's a date that stands out. Raw was taped from the week prior, the year prior, I guess you could say, with the main event of Mankind challenging The Rock for the WWE title, while over on Nitro, they were live at the Georgia Dome with the main event of Kevin Nash defending his newly won WCW World title against Hollywood Hogan. This was after Kevin Nash became the first man to beat Goldberg. He broke the streak at Starrcade, which was suspect in and of itself. Think about that. We went from ending Goldberg's streak to this. These two back-to-back events. It's no wonder WCW began a steep decline after this. There had been a split within the NWO, or so they wanted us to believe. This was the night of the infamous fingerpoke of doom, where Nash laid down for Hogan while Eric Bischoff had Tony Schiavone talk about how over on that other channel, they're going to put their world title on Mick Foley. That's going to put some butts in the seats. And 600,000 people proceeded to change the channel and switch over to Monday Night Raw because Eric Dipshit just told them that they were going to see a title change. Even WWE spoiled the title change on their own website the day after it was taped. I remember that. I remember being upset about that. No warning or anything. There it was. Boom. Right there on WWE.com, or I guess at the time it was WWF.com, because they wanted to get people to tune in the following week. Now, that was also the night that Stone Cold returned after being gone only a few weeks. I think he was out with a minor knee injury. But you would think he had been gone for months or years. The pop that he got walking out to the ring that night when he hit The Rock in the head with a steel chair. The biggest pop I've ever heard in all my life when that glass shattered and he came marching down to that ring. Let's go back to the end of 1998. After the taping, and see what the fine folks of RSPW were saying about it at that time. HSB3. See, you thought I was going to say HSBC, but oh no. HSB3 says, on December 30th, 1998, in a post titled, Biggest RSPW Spoiler, Jack, It Happened. It just went by WrestleManiacs, and Mankind is the new WWF Heavyweight Wrestling Champion of the world. I think the only way Nitro can hope to beat Raw now is to have Macho Man's new gal come out naked. Wow, talk about opening up the door for the Royal Rumble now. Rocky, Austin, Kane, although not likely. Undertaker, McMahon, not likely. Triple H, not likely. HBK, if he's in it. Shamrock, all different contenders to win the Royal Rumble. Not to mention Mankind could even lose the championship from the following week's Raw, anytime up until WrestleMania 15. Who would have ever thought that 1 year ago, Mankind would be the world champion having beaten The Rock, Ken Shamrock would be the Intercontinental Champion having won a tournament, Shamrock and Ray Traylor, tag team champions, beating the New Age Outlaws, Dwayne Gill, light heavyweight champion, beating the rookie Christian, Road Dogg, hardcore champion, beat Ray Traylor. I don't know why he keeps calling him Ray Traylor. Just call him the Big Boss Man. And that Road Dogg hardcore title reign, I maintain, is very underrated. I enjoyed the Road Dogg hardcore title reign back in 99. And he says, Sable, women's champion, having beaten Jackie. The only predictable things are Shamrock as the IC champ, and the light heavyweight title still sucking, despite having some of the best junior heavyweights in the world. D. Torciello claps back on that point about this opening up a lot of possibilities for the Royal Rumble by saying, no, Rock retakes the title from Foley at the Royal Rumble. Austin wins the Rumble for the 17th consecutive year and takes the title back from The Rock at WrestleMania. The storyline could deviate from this, but I doubt it. The title change does provide a wonderful excuse, though, for Vince McMahon to give us a Foley against Rock match for the 100th time in the last 3 months. Well, he was close. Vince won the Rumble, but Rock did win the title back, and Austin beat him for it at WrestleMania, so he wasn't too far off. Jason Aristate on December 30th here with a post titled, Mick Foley wins the WWF World Title. Well, since this has already been broadcast, I don't feel the need to put a spoiler header, he says. But I wish, or rather, I just wanted to confirm it since I was at the Worcester, Massachusetts Raw tapings live. Mick Foley did indeed capture the World Wrestling Federation Championship over The Rock with help from a chair shot by Steve Austin. The arena went absolutely nuts, and Foley celebrated with DX at the end and gave a heartwarming speech about his victory and dedicated the match to his two children. Yeah, Mick will more than likely job the title back to Rock at the Royal Rumble, but for at least a couple of weeks, Foley can finally be a world champion. What a way to combat next week's WCW Georgia Dome Nitro. What a moment tonight. I wish you all could have been there. So, a very nice post here by Mr. Jason Aristade, who was at the taping and couldn't wait to tell the world about it, and I guess did not feel the need to put a spoiler header since he saw other people already talking about it. Well, that lack of a spoiler header did not go over very well here with the fine, upstanding folks of RSPW, as the first reply here to his post was a one-word response, and that response was, asshole. It only went downhill from here. Double X Strength says, this is too funny. Hey, when you reply to everything that gets posted in here tomorrow night, try calling everyone poopy heads. It's right up your alley, Skidmark. I'm not even sure who he was referring to. If he was replying to the person who said asshole, or if he was replying to the original poster. Corey Collins says, hey, fuckweed. He has a right to do it. He's pissed. I'm pissed. And I'm sure others are pissed that a bunch of dick faces posted about Mick Foley winning the fucking title with no spoiler space or shit like that. So fuck you. Terry Acolyte does a run-in with some common sense. He says, if you don't want to know what's going to happen, then don't read RSPW or check the websites, you dumbasses. See, I tell people that all the time. And this was over 20 years ago. Mr. 420 disagrees with that logic and says, I shouldn't have to go a week without reading RSPW. It's a common practice used by every news group to give spoiler warnings or spoiler space. When you don't want to know the ending of a new movie, do you stay away from all of your friends that have already seen it? No, you assume that your friends will be considerate enough to not give away the damn ending. Why should this group be any different? Terry Acolyte says, you consider people on RSPW your friends? You are a real dumb shit. A large part of RSPW and internet websites is for knowing what's going to happen before it happens. Deal with it. Leave if you don't like it, loser. Mr. 420 responds. Says obviously we wouldn't be in this group if we didn't take wrestling a little more serious than the average fan. Some people enjoy watching it, not reading about it. You assholes can keep posting spoilers in the subject if you want, but each and every damn time I'm going to respond and complain about it. Not reading the group for a week is not an acceptable option to me, so if I gotta put up with people posting spoilers without any warning, then you're just gonna have to put up with me bitching about it. So now, not only do we have posts bitching about various things, but now we have threats to bitch on future posts. Just love how an excited post about Mick Foley winning the championship turned into a total shit show, with nobody actually discussing the fact that Mick Foley just won his first world title. It just turned into a flame war over spoiler tags in 1998. Actually, you know what? I did this out of order because there was another spoiler post before this one that made me laugh out loud when I first read the responses. I think this one actually came first because some of the same people posting replies at first didn't believe the news that Foley had even won the title. This is another December 30th, 1998 post. This one from Ron with the headline, and I shit you not, this is the headline he put. He tried to be considerate, okay? He made an effort to be. The title, spoiler, ... Mankind, new WWF champ. With about 10 exclamation points. It says, on next week's Raw, Mankind beats Rocky for the title. That was it. That was the entire body of the post. And Mr. 420 replied, liar, Where did you hear that bullshit? Terry Acolyte nearly busted a gut laughing. LOL. Thanks for the spoiler warning. LOLOL. Big and Loud says, actually check out WWF.com and you will see it's the truth. Long live Foley. Eatin' Beans says, no joke. He's not lying. Mankind wins. Check out any of the wrestling news websites. Mad says, I think you need to be educated to the proper way to use the word spoiler. It doesn't work if you put spoiler and then put what you are spoiling for everyone in the subject line. Duh. Storm Rider says, he put it at the beginning of the subject line. After you read the word spoiler, if you don't want to know, don't read the rest of the subject line. Duh. But Mad had a different opinion about this situation. He says, well, guess what? When you read the word spoiler, your eyes already see the rest of the sentence, dumbass. And Mike Two Scoops Malecki ends the thread with this. Way to put spoiler in the heading and then put the spoiler right next to it. You are a fucking Well, that's not very nice. That is not very nice. Does no one on RSPW care that Mick Foley just won his first world championship? All they seem to care about is that it was spoiled. It's almost like winning the championship was an afterthought here. That's what got me by reading all of these different posts. We fast forward a week to the night of the broadcast, January 4th, 1999, and a post by Owen Aardvark titled, Tony Rips on Raw and Mick Foley. He says, I was flipping between Raw and Nitro, and I heard Tony Schiavone make this comment. Mick Foley, who wrestled in WCW as Cactus Jack, will be given their world title tonight. Boy, that'll put some butts into those seats. He is more right than he even realizes. Why do I feel that WCW will lose tonight? Because of what Tony said. And finally, the day after, on January 5th, 1999, Joe Sixpack, with a post titled, Mick Foley Sucks, Undeserving of the WWF title. He is just a stupid, fat, toothless New Yorker with no technical wrestling skills and can't get over without mutilating himself to get heat from his sick bunch of suburbanite loser fans. You all suck, and Foley is your wuss poster boy. Is that Ric Flair? Was Ric Flair posting on RSPW in 1999? I think he might have been. X Betray X says, whatever. Go back to watching Nitro. Anyone that saw King of Deathmatch 95 knows that Foley is more than deserving of any title. Joe Sixpack was having none of it. He says, you all suck. Living in the corrupted Northeast and watching ECW has corrupted you all. Real wrestling is the Freebirds, Magnum TA, World Class, and Mid-South circa 1983. I repeat, you all suck. Go away. May you have freak skateboard accidents, suffer from tattoo needle infections, and go blind from watching MTV2. MTV2, he says. Not MTV. MTV2. Is that the reputation that we have here in the Northeast? I mean, I know it's been 20 years, but I hope that's not the reputation that we have here in the Northeast. I haven't ridden a skateboard since I was probably 11 years old. Win Wright brings some civility to the group with this reply. I think Foley deserves the title more than anyone else in the WWF. He's been through more shit in 15 years than any other wrestler in history. Let's see. 1995 King of Deathmatch tournament, tag teaming with Kevin Sullivan. That would make anyone crazy. A death match with Vader, holding every major belt in WWF except the IC and World Heavyweight. And holding tag team belts in WCW and ECW. Go Mick. Long live the greatest champion ever. Jeff Amdur says, you've got to be kidding. Mick is one of the hardest working and crowd-pleasingest workers in the business. He's no Ray or Kidman when it comes to technical prowess, but as far as work rate, brawling, and connecting with the crowd, he has no peer in recent memory. You'd rather have a non-working, boring Hogan as your champion. It's nice to end with a positive post. I wanted to end with something positive. That was a nice defense of Mick Foley, who did work hard, and I don't think Foley ever expected to be world champion. And it was a nice little reward. Not only did he win the world title in '99, he won it 3 times that year. But this has been your weekly reminder that the best way not to be spoiled is to stay the hell away from RSPW, or any other wrestling news group for that matter.